The garden rescue team are on a mission.
Look at that!
To create beautiful green spaces in family homes.
What do you think? I think that's super cool.
And make people's garden dreams come true.
Fab!
Charlie Dimmock
Pushes the boundaries out.
the much-loved queen of the family garden.
What could go wrong?
The Rich Brothers,
Good luck, boyo.
creators of classy, trend-setting outdoor spaces.
It's such a nice pop of colour, isn't it?
And Arit Anderson,
That's brilliant!
an award-winning designer with a distinctive sense of style.
A lot of these plants are quite easy to maintain.
They're here to answer garden emergencies
There is a lot to be done.
based on the client's needs and budget.
So I think it's definitely challenging.
2 sets of designers create and pitch
Ooh,
garden plans.
wow.
But only one can win.
Jazza.
Has to help them build it.
Oh, look at that!
This is what happens when 2 different styles collide
What's not to love?
to turn garden dreams into reality.
Oh, Charlie, I love you!
That's a bit better, isn't it?
Today, it's Arit and the Rich Brothers who are on call. They've been given the challenge of creating a sensory garden.
So here we have Ben and Liz and their children Tom and Ellie. Lovely family from Luton.
Yes, energetic photo.
But this is their space.
Large, expansive lawn.
We do use the garden a lot. If it's raining, the children are out there. If it snows, they're out there in their pyjamas.
At the moment, it's just a lawn, but really we'd like something a bit more structured, more age-appropriate for them because they're becoming teenagers now.
Right, Ellie, can make room for Thomas.
This garden's got to be somewhere that they can entertain and the children can have fun as well. They do have some special needs in the family.
The children can get very hyperactive, especially my son. He can't sit still. He can't keep his attention on anything for any length of time. It's very challenging because everybody looks at you and they don't understand that he has autism because he looks just like anybody else. Taking the children into the forest calms him down. It's like magic. The sound of rain, we need things to feel nice. We need a sensory place where everybody's got somewhere where they can go, a special place where they can calm down and connect with nature.
So it's the ultimate relaxing garden, isn't it?
It is indeed.
Fantastic. What's the budget?
The budget, actually, it's not too bad for this. 5,000.
5,000, that's great.
Yeah.
To decide,
Eyes drawn straight to the summer house.
Really nice, actually.
Good size. But actually, look at the patio.
Lay, that'll be good, sort of save some money there.
And I'm loving this lawn. It looks pretty good condition, doesn't it, really?
But it's not really talking really sensory in here, though, is it?
No, it isn't. I mean, you can kick a football around on here or you can have a little play, but there's nothing giving you that stimulus, really, is there?
No, not at all.
Well, they can definitely relax.
But, you know, we've got a few mature shrubs there, a couple of the trees, but I think, really, we can give it more than this.
Oh,
can't we?
yeah, you'd hope so, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Well, do you want to go and have a look and see what you can find inside?
I think that's a good idea.
I shall keep looking at
You
the...
could have got that hammock,
Yeah,
surely, you know?
No, would I?
Yeah,
would
I would.
I?
You
No,
deserve
I've
it,
got
girl.
work.
Go
I've got
on.
work to do. Bye. Yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, it's been a long day. Oh.
Do you know what? I actually feel a little bit guilty. Arit's out there continuing to do some research on the garden. We're just coming indoors.
I know, she does work very hard, doesn't she?
She's a trooper.
Yeah, she's a team player and she never takes a break.
Yeah.
It's a lovely family space. I think it's got a lovely tradition. So I think the garden should definitely have a natural touch to it.
Absolute, definitely. And those tiles, look at them. Now that has drawn me in.
Yeah. It invites you to touch it, doesn't it?
It does. I think that's what we need to get out in the garden, whether it's textures on the ground or even just the textures and the colours through plants.
So, Ben and Liz, your garden, which is a great space, really lovely and sunny, but what exactly is it that you're looking for this garden to give you?
We want it to be quite a fun space, don't we?
Yeah, definitely for the children to relax in after school so they can kick their shoes and socks off and relax in the garden.
What about for you guys? What do you want?
It would be nice to have a space that we could use throughout the year, not just when it's warm and sunny. We need
Okay.
a space that's going to work for us all the time.
Right.
Maybe it's got a bit of a holiday vibe as well.
Okay.
Ooh, again, this is such a nice, quaint room, isn't it?
It's gorgeous. Beautiful natural materials again. You've got loads of wood, all the furniture, beautiful pieces. favourite bit in the room.
Yeah.
It's the children's arts. Look at that.
Very eye-catching. I think in the garden we shouldn't shy away from having bold colours.
You've spotted the colours. I've spotted the woodland.
Ooh.
Now, I think it'd be wonderful to give them that almost like that woodland, like a camping retreat.
So I think the garden has to have a sensory element. It's got lovely smells, lovely colours, lovely textures, but also maybe a very natural look to it as well.
Oh, a little woodland retreat. Also somewhere that Ellie and Thomas can have their own little space outside.
Yeah, two nice little dens.
Nature is the biggest help to us as a family. We quite often visit Ashridge Forest, which is quite near to us. And the difference in the children, especially Thomas, before and after is astounding. It keeps him grounded, keeps him calm. And I'd say that Mother Nature is probably one of our biggest helpers. So be with some water, with natural planting, things that smell nice when they're sort of crushed.
Yeah. The main thing is making sure that it answers to the sensory needs, you know, within the really that you just want to feel that you can have that real nature buzz, that nature really works for you, so that it feels like it's a natural space for you to come out to.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Definitely.
OK. We shall absolutely be doing our best on that front.
Thank you.
OK.
Fueled with ideas, they get straight to work to design a sensory garden. Each of them will come up with a plan for Liz and Ben's garden that works within their budget. The couple will then choose a winner, and whoever loses will help the winner build the garden. The £5,000 budget will be spent on materials, while Arit and the Rich brothers, along with a crack team of landscapers, provide the labour for free. Back in Luton, it's time for the pitch.
Hello.
Hello. OK, guys. So, this is the design. So, we know that you wanted to have a garden for the whole family. So, what we wanted to do was we wanted to give you your very own wild camping retreat.
Wow.
Large open lawn, spaces to play and have fun. Then also an area just at the back for you two as well, somewhere you can sit and relax. So overall, there'll be a garden to reconnect with nature, but also a garden of discovery and adventure as well.
So the brothers have taken inspiration from the local forest the family love, while Arit's come up with a different plan.
OK, hello. Are you ready?
Yep.
OK, so this is the Love It Sensory Garden.
Oh.
The whole point of this garden was to give you that playfulness, give you the quiet zones, but also as well come up with the sensory needs that are needed. So I wanted to make sure that you had a journey that goes through the garden, experiencing all of that.
Arit knows the space should have a calm vibe, and both designers know how important it is to be a sensory garden.
And it starts with this sensory path that starts here. So on this part of the journey, you'd come through and there might be cobbles under here or bits of turf, different textures that are going to be underfoot that start to take you through the journey of the garden.
Wow.
You've got an existing patio now, which is really strong, but one of the things that I wanted to do for you is just to slightly extend it, just so that you've got a little bit more space, because you kind of come straight out onto this area, and that will just give you a place where you can sit as a family to chill out and have some dining going on the table. But the whole thing and thrust about this garden is about its sensory need.
So the paths, what we want to make them out of is a self-binding for the whole garden.
Lovely. So it'd still be fine for walking over without shoes and socks on?
There's no big stones that really hurt.
Brilliant.
The nice, like that light texture.
Yeah.
Well, because it's gravel, we can plant maybe thyme in the pathways, so that when they're walked over, it's off a little aroma as well.
Yeah.
The sweet-smelling paths have gone down well, but Liz and Ben wanted private spaces too, for the kids to relax. What are our designers' plans for that?
So the cocoon seats that I know that are going to be in this space, I wanted to have one that's close to the home. So, you know, you guys are having a cup of tea or having lunch and Ellie wants to curl up and read her book. She can come and do that in one of the cocoons here, or up in this part of the garden where it's a lot quieter.
Yeah.
Right at the front of the garden, what we wanted to do was we wanted to give Tom and Ellie their very own little cabins. Sounds pretty cool. So what we thought is these little A-frame cabins made out of corrugated tin. And the reason for that is when it rains, it actually gives a beautiful sound. So not only can they be out in the garden when it's great weather, but also when it's actually really bad weather and generally people are inside, the two of them can be out here and they can be really enjoying the rain. And also, as the rain runs off, pools underneath as well, so the water can collect in there. So they've got a lovely sensory element of listening, watching, and also playing with the water as well. So that'd be really cool.
So the brothers have not only come up with the kids' own space, but included an inventive way of getting water into the garden, an important part of the brief. But Arit's not going to be outdone.
So I think you've got this amazing summer house, which probably you want to start to open up and actually have that as an extra part of living within the garden, but to deck it for you so that you can come out onto this space. And I also want to give the children and yourselves, if you want to, a little water space here that's got stepping stones, so there's that extra bit of play that can happen around the water area.
Finally, to heighten the senses, the planting is key. So what have the designers done to add the wow factor?
You'll have these lovely, tall, airy plants full of colour.
That sounds beautiful.
Nice. Or there's a plant called Flomis, which has got a lovely leaf, really textural leaf, but actually its flower has like almost these baubles on stems. Those seed heads rattle, and it looks really beautiful, and it's things that you can break off and you can use them for
I
art.
can see a lot of fun with those.
Nice,
with
yeah.
the kids.
This is like a riverbed of grasses, really.
Wow.
Grasses are really great for the feel and touch of them, and as well that movement as well in the space, because obviously you get that lovely waft in the breeze that they'll kind of move with you as well. And of course we've got your area that you can actually dedicate and grow all of your herbs, which I think was really key. You were saying about the children liking to go and pick and smell and crush different scents from their herbs.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, fantastic. It's really good.
Nice. Well, it's important what you guys think, but Thomas, what do you think?
Yeah, I'll give that a thumbs up.
Nice.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Both designers have come up with their own unique take on a sensory garden, but only one can win. And it's a family decision.
Looking at these two designs, it's going to be a real challenge, isn't it?
Yeah.
Choosing.
And did you bring any water in?
Our big thing was that we had 2 A-frame cabins. They would capture rainwater, which runs down the corrugated sheets and then create little pools so they can play. I've got a feeling you've got a big water feature.
Well, no, not a big water feature. I've created a little water pebble area so that they can kind of walk through that with pebbles and paddle stones that will go through.
Lovely.
I quite like the pond.
Yeah.
And I also like the idea of the cocoon chairs.
And really played on the under-feet sort of feeling in terms of did a proper sensory path. It's going to have grass and pebbles as part of it as well.
I like that. Well, we went quite heavy on the plants, didn't we?
Okay.
So loads of ones that are great to touch.
Oh, nice.
It's a great place for nature.
I love the way that there's quieter areas as well, where we can chill out.
Both of them are just packed with awesome sensory things.
Yeah, quite different as well. So that would be interesting, wouldn't
Makes
it?
it more difficult for them.
Oh, well, should we get
Here we
open?
go. Enough relaxing.
Will they go for Arit's design with her sensory pathways, splash pool and cosy seating areas? Or will they choose the Rich Brothers with their wooden cabins, bound gravel pathways and tactile plants?
Hello.
Hello. So it's been a really, really hard decision. I've got to say that me and Ben chose one design. Tom and Ellie chose another design. The one that we have gone for is... Oh.
Nice. Well done. That's fantastic.
Oh.
So who won? Is it you two or was it
Children won. Children won.
Oh, well. So, Tom and Ellie, what was it about this design that you really liked then?
It's got a lot of holiday thing and it's nice to relax when it's sunny.
Ideal. Sounds
Great.
good.
It'd be nice to take your shoes and socks off and dip your toes in the water.
Yeah, I felt a bit cold. It's a cold day.
Definitely a holiday garden, and we're going to have so much fun.
Oh, brilliant. I'm really, really happy.
Arit's thrilled with the win, but she'll need the Rich Brothers to help her turn this plain plot into a sensational sensory garden. It's time for the build and an early start in Luton for Arit's team of landscapers. Lee, project manager Paul, Andy and Steve get straight down to business.
Got something to start with.
I'm very excited about this. There's quite a bit going on. I can see that. It's a lovely, well, the idea is it's a lovely sensory garden.
OK.
She's got some paths. This is a sensory path, so that'll be made up of all different kinds of material, so the kids will, you know, when they walk on it with bare feet, it'll be nice for them.
OK.
And then that's your domain, fellas, up there. The
Decking.
The deck area. And I think that'll look, look
pretty
good,
cool,
won't
yeah.
it? We've got a lot of work to do,
And at the
so
moment, we've got sun, so
let's get cracking
do
while
it.
we can.
While Steve and Lee make a start on the At the bottom of the garden,
She's lined it up with those patio doors, hasn't she? Pretty much.
Paul gives Andy a hand with his first job, extending the patio with a circular seating area.
The circle diameter is 2.57,
Okay.
yeah.
Well,
so...
we'll go off a slab.
Off the slab?
Off a slab. Do you know him?
I do know him, yeah. Went to school with him.
Come over here, Paul, because we're going to line it up with the doors, aren't we?
Yeah. And then if we go
Off a slab.
300, that's the middle of it. Like that.
I am obviously after going to double-check it.
It's near enough.
Finally, happy with the dimensions, it's marked out and Andy starts lifting the turf to make way for the concrete slabs. At the back of the garden, Steve and Lee are making short shrift of building the new deck and add joists to strengthen the frame. With the turf up and the soil levelled, Andy adds a base layer of hardcore. A 30mm layer of grit sand will keep it firmly in place. For the patio, Andy's using a kit of block paving at a cost of £600.
Well, that's the easy bit done. I've just got to make sense of all the rest of the bits now. So just going to keep going round, expand it out, fill this area in for the table and chairs.
For Arit's sensory pathways around the edge of the garden, Paul is using a turf cutter to lift a thin layer to make way for the path. It's removed gently as it's going to be recycled later.
OK, so we're nearly complete, the circle. I'm just joining this existing patio, so I'm going to run up to it. I'm going to mark these slabs. Hopefully Steve will cut them for me. See if you've cut it right. It's good to me, mate.
With the frame complete, Lee and Steve can start to screw the boards to the deck. They're using a durable, natural product, ideal for all weathers, and along with the frame cost £1,200. Andy has one more process to complete his circular patio, adding kiln sand with a vibrating plate. This disappears into the joints and locks it solidly together. The decked area is taking shape, and the sensory path is edged with slim-lined block pavers. The team have pulled out, but just as Arit and the Rich brothers arrive, the heavens open.
I have to say, I do feel a bit bad. I couldn't bring the better weather for you boys.
Yeah. You didn't tell us you were going to wear a hat, though.
I know, I kind of trumped you a bit on that.
I forgot all my wet weather gear, except my wellies.
I know, wet as it is, we've got an amazing garden to deliver today, so I'm very excited about it. So just trying to create a sense of wonder in the garden. So there's going to be kind of hidden areas, screenings. Yep. So, the lovely David.
Yeah, what am I on?
You on the sensory path.
Sounds great.
The family love coming out bare feet in the gardens, so I think that's going to be a lovely area to be able to create. Yeah. And then, Harry, in the middle of the lawn, there's going to be like these oak timber posts that are going to create a screen there. Nice. So that'll be amazing.
Lovely.
And I've got a little water, little splash area that I'm going to create by the deck.
I feel like all the way throughout the garden there's going to be a few splash areas, isn't there? It sounds a bit like it's going to be a bit chaotic during the day, but at the end they're going to have a nice, peaceful, tranquil space to relax.
That's the plan. That's the plan. Onward we go.
Oh, right.
Oh, let you guys go by.
Oh, I see now. We're chicken limbo, is it? Go on.
Oh, don't go too low. I can't go that low.
I'm pretty sure that was cheating, but we'll let it slide.
You were going down
It's
lower.
raining, it's dangerous.
The guys have really cracked on, which is fantastic because it's given us a really good head start. And it's really pleasing to see the patio. This circular addition to their existing patio is not only to extend the dining space, but actually to see movement that's going to be around this space. Andy, you've done a cracking job here.
Thank you.
I really love it. So what's this little addition?
Well, we've got this little step in the grass there.
Right.
And we've got these spare. I just wondered if we could use them to take that out.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great idea. I'm loving that.
Yeah,
brilliant.
OK, thank you.
Thank you. Well, those pavers are also forming this curvy sensory path that's going to go all the way around the garden. And this is really, really exciting. This is where we're going to be able to be playful, using different textures. Children can come out running around and really, really having fun. As we come up the garden, this area, I'm sort of calling what will be my woodland area. A couple of birch trees are going to go in. There's also going to be a space for cocoon seating and just have this to be a little bit of a wilder area. Lee, look what you've done. It's looking amazing.
Getting there, isn't it?
I really love it. It's really great.
It's getting there now. Just Welcome to cut the circles out.
Oh, no, it looks fantastic. This is a circular deck area, 2 circles that are overlapping, again, to keep in line with the curves. Also, this deck enables the family to now really utilise this lovely, wonderful den that they've got already. I will be coming back to this little zone here, which will be, believe it or not, some water. And this pile of earth, which has come out from the excavation, is going to be great for the children to play around. They can lean against it, jump over it. I just wanted to give them these little play zones that they can go and explore.
With a tarpaulin down to protect the grass, rain doesn't stop play. With the help of the team's plant specialist, Sinead, Arit has chosen plants that not only appeal to the senses of smell and touch, but taste too.
OK, Sinead, the great thing is that we've already got some edibles in the house already. They were just down the side. Nice that we can get these in. Brilliant. So they've got a couple of gooseberries, currant. So I'm thinking if they sort of act as our backdrop, lovely, and get those at the back. So we've got one over there. And maybe position one here. And these roseberries, are great punctuation points.
Yep, and there's a bit of evergreen.
Evergreen, bit of structure. So they'll add there. And then maybe we can start to bring, because then they'll love the way that the Peter just fans out. Yeah. We'll have a look. I mean, that's the fun bit about setting out, isn't it? You ever put it out, if it doesn't work, reset it. The wonderful thing about nasturtiums is not only do they look great, they taste great as well. The edible flower is something that we can throw into salads. But if you actually let them go to seed, the pods of that can then be used as capers or in place of capers. So again, a fantastic much to the family. So that's definitely going in the border.
Right, here we are. Ready for the path, I heard.
Oh, look at that.
Whatever the side is, lob it all in the barrow, chuck it out, and then it's done.
Well, can we have less chuck?
What do you reckon about these
Look at those
materials?
textures, though. It's fab. I'm liking that.
It's going to be nice, isn't it? I've also got the brick that's already in the garden, so that's quite cool. Slightly rougher. Yeah. Granite cobble.
Yes, yes.
Quite cool. Even rougher. Look at these. I know you were going to use some of them.
You like a bit rough, isn't it?
Yeah, look at that.
Oh, look at those. Yeah, they'll certainly be getting texture under their little tootsies with those, won't they?
That's beautiful. That's quite hard.
Any soft?
Well, some soft. So I'm not official here. I thought, do you know what? Have a little bit of fun.
Even through my gloves.
You sure?
I can.
I think you're just feeling your gloves, aren't you? That's cool, isn't it?
Well, that's the thing, I guess, with this path as well, is because it's in little sections, so they can be playful, and then they might also find other things that they can add into the path as well.
Exactly. And smell it. Go on. Have a smell of that. Have a swab.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
To disguise Arit's new grass mound in the middle of the garden, she's designed a wooden panel to create a secret hidey hole for Tom and Ellie.
I'm just digging the trench for the oak screening. And Arit's designed this around this grassy knoll on a lovely curve that helps to mimic the rest. Although they are very expensive, you do get quality.
These untreated green oak posts cost £750 and will weather naturally over time. At the back of the garden, Lee is finishing his decking by creating 2 sweeping curves. And Arit can now start on her sensory splash pool.
Voila! We're going to dig this out, get a little liner in there as well, some pebbles, so it just gives, again, another dimension in terms of texture and elements within the garden that is going to be excellent for sensory needs. Time to get digging.
Digs a shallow trench 10 centimetres deep. On the right-hand side of the garden, David prepares the ground for the sensory path. Harry's finished digging his trench for the oak screen, and now it's a team effort to get the posts in position.
Steve, great job cutting these. They all look as exact, especially that wonky eye. But do you reckon you can give me a hand? Pretty meaty.
Of course we can.
And I need someone to hold them up while I'm putting in the muck.
Same size.
Keep the cut end tipped up. OK. Because they're a bit wonky on either end.
Quickly, they weigh a ton.
They do weigh a ton and they're wet.
Where's Arit? Arit?
Yeah?
What kind of gap do you want between these?
Well, let's have a look. Can they come a little bit closer?
Yeah.
Just a little bit. So you've just got that little, it's that little peek, it's that peek through?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Looking
We
good.
just need 10 pairs of hands now to hold them up while we put them in.
Well, I've got one pair.
That'll do.
All right. OK, yeah.
First 3 we're doing the same. And
All
then...
right.
Anyway, I'll see you in a bit.
We'll see.
I'm going to have a cup of tea.
Oh.
They can't go anywhere now.
Oh, OK. Oh.
So that Arit doesn't have to stand there all day, David's come up with a nifty solution to make sure each post has the equal gaps she's after. Once she's happy they're in the correct position, quick-drying cement is poured in to hold them firmly in place.
You can already see that it's creating quite a dominant structure within this garden. And it's all about privacy, and you can see with quite a slight gap in between. It allows glimpses through, but doesn't reveal the garden all at once. And I think that's going to create a really lovely, cosy space for Eleanor and Thomas.
We are now on to making the little splash pool. Make sure you've cleared it of stones and of any kind of loose roots, because you don't want that coming up through the liner. So what you can see, Paul and I are going to make sure it's tucked well under the deck. And actually, on this side, we actually want to blend it back into the lawns. A little mound of soil at this level, cover it with turf so it feels really, really natural. But the whole idea about this area is that it's about the senses still. It's playing with water. There'll be pebbles in here, so there'll be that underfoot texture play.
Arit's sensory pathway will curve around the garden.
It's a bit easier, that, isn't it?
David's adding a base layer of fine gravel and levels it out, ready for the plants, patio slabs and other sensory elements.
Right, don't go using this to wipe your feet. It is no longer a doormat.
So I can't use
it?
it?
No. It looks like the sand at the moment, but you put gravel either side. That's going to feel quite nice, isn't it, on the feet?
Oh, yeah.
That should feel pretty cool. And then they can always replace it as well.
Oh, and that was nice as well. That's one of my favourite, actually.
That is like a mini massage. Pay money for that, wouldn't you? Now, this sensory path was one of the main elements in Arit's garden, and one of the reasons I think it was chosen, because Thomas and stay on that. And it's going to be great fun for them. They're going to wander through here and have a lot of different sensory experiences. Lots of different textures, lots of visual interest. But I think most importantly, and the nicest element of this, is actually going to be the plants that we're putting in. So we've got chamomile, and it has that lovely, soft texture underfoot, but it has a lovely sweet smell. And also, when it comes into flower, it's going to look beautiful as well. And we've also got some thyme. And thyme, like chamomile, it's nice and robust, really tough. Won't mind being stepped on, but nicely, again, it's really going to give off that lovely bit of scent, which I think is going to be wonderful to wander through here, to not only feel the garden, but also to smell it. And it creates that lovely reason to go from the start of the garden all the way to the end.
When the children venture to the back right of the garden, they'll come to Arit's secluded woodland area. 2 cocoon hammocks at £180 each provide quiet for children to read. One is set up on the new deck, and the other will be surrounded by woodland planting, including birch trees at £36 each. Lee and Andy are building the wooden frame to support the second hammock.
You switch his tap on? Very much. Happy? Happy.
Harry's finished building Arit's wooden screen in the centre of the garden, but she's not finished with him, as she's decided to add an extra element to her design.
It's looking so good.
Obviously, these have to come off.
I was going to say, I like your little artistry moment there. But what I am thinking is that when you kind of look in the garden, as much as there's going to be grasses that will kind of soften from this area, it doesn't quite look balanced.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering about putting some of the timber that's now going to be left over and just do a little frame, so it's as if you've got, it's a connection to the back. That'll work.
Yeah.
So not as high as this one.
Not as much work.
Not as much work, darling, no. This area here is going to be a second herbaceous border. So it's already got the roseberry in it, which is great because that's going to have evergreen and structure, which is fabulous. However, it has got the unwanted bindweed. One tip is to take bamboo cane, pop it in the ground, and then you can actually get the bindweed and start to train it around the bamboo cane. It will happily start to wind itself through there. Then it makes it a lot easier when you want to pull it out.
With the garden taking shape, Arit has a finishing touch for the sensory splash pool.
I've got these larger stones, which I'm hoping are going to be almost like the stepping stones across the top. So keeping my hands clean, so I don't want to get that too dirty in here. Yeah, that looks like it's going to work. So there's going to be some stepping stones that go through here, that continue across the path and into the other seating area. So it just all follows on, sensory path, sensory water. It's going to look great.
In the middle of the garden, Aritz designed a 6-foot grass mound nestled behind the oak screen.
In the UK, we love a lawn. But in this instance, I didn't want just another flat lawn in the garden space. I wanted to create some interest for the children. And so by taking all of the soil that we'd excavated out of the paths, out of the patio, can create this mound, relay the turf that was taken off of the areas. And now they're going to have this wonderful place where they can run over, lie over it, sit on it. It's about taking a material that we know and just thinking about using it in a different way. And it does bring something different to the garden. It adds form, it adds more texture, and it just gives another level of interest into this space.
An important part of Aritz's sensory garden are the plants. She's carefully selected ones that will complement each other.
The colour palette, I've deliberately kept it very, very simple and kept it to the blue tones, really. The main reason for that is on the colour spectrum, blue is quite a calming colour, and I think it's really important that in a sensory garden for the children, that to start off with, that they don't want to be bombarded with colours.
By keeping to one colour, it'll create an important feeling of calm through the space. To extend the line across the garden from the oaks, tasked Harry with planting a row of grasses to add height and movement.
The forester himself actually described grass as hair of the earth, and you can kind of see why. It moves in such a beautiful way when caught by the wind, and it really does add a lovely element into the garden. But Eric really wants to link it with another plant, so I've got verbena, so I'm going to interplant these, and again with its long airy stems and those beautiful purple flowers, and adds a lovely punch of colour into this garden. Now, the great thing about having the deck the shape that it is it actually has opened up a really nice planting pocket right in front of the summer house. Now, Arit's chosen to put in this Lonicera here, winter honeysuckle. Gorgeous. Really beautiful shrub, lovely simple leaves, and actually in winter and early spring, it's going to provide this garden with a lovely bit of creamy colour, but also a lovely bit of scent as well. So that's going to be gorgeous. And then around that, then, we've got, and again, famous for its smell. So gorgeous double white flowers, and again, they'll cover the bush and give this area a beautiful scent in summer. And then this anchusa here, just in the front of the bed. It's scattered throughout the garden, so it's really lovely to put it right at the back here. It helps to draw the eye through the space onto this back bed here. Some salvia here, Baz.
Other vibrant scented and tactile flowers, including scabiosa, lavender and lamb's ears, are planted in the borders. The team just need to do some last-minute set dressing and the garden is complete.
Oh, where's the middle of this circle, do you reckon?
I know, it's in the middle. Perfect. Oh, that looks great, doesn't it?
Oh, can't quite smell it yet, though, unfortunately.
I know. By the time that
Yeah.
it's going to smell gorgeous around here.
Yeah, it'd be a wonderful spot, wouldn't it?
I know, and I'm waiting to get into that little area. I'm sort of thinking, well, the best, really, you know, user test the cocoon.
Hey.
Wow.
Good spot,
That's
that.
fab.
You guys enjoying this lovely little woodland glade?
The sun's out now. We've had that hideous day of rain.
We struggled through it.
I think it's kind of called user testing.
Oh, that's it, isn't it?
Oh, when everything grows up around here, it's going to have a lovely soft character, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. I mean, fantastic job.
Good.
You guys will absolutely love it, aren't they?
Well, let's
We've got
hope
that to look
so.
forward to now, haven't we?
That's it. We've got to hand it over.
Yeah. Well done, team.
Before the garden rescue team arrived, Liz and Ben's garden was plain, featureless, and didn't suit their needs. It's now had a £5,000 transformation into a calm and characterful sensory. A sensory path now winds around the garden, filled with sweet-smelling herbs and textured floor coverings. The lawn outside the summer house has been replaced with a cool deck that catches the evening sunshine, and a splash pool provides the calming effect of the sight and sounds of water. Arit has added beech trees and woodland planting to reflect the family's love of the nearby forest. And there's cocoon seating for moments of quiet. Finally, for fun, a series of wooden posts screen a grassy mound for the kids to hide behind.
Right, OK, so come this way. Keep it down, keep it down.
Now that Arit's design is a reality, what will the family make of it?
Excited faces. I think there's going to be a lively reaction on this one, isn't there?
3, 2, 1. Open your eyes.
Wow! It's amazing!
It looks so beautiful.
Oh,
Beautiful!
It looks really great.
That's been fantastic for them, isn't it? I think just the idea that they can now really explore the garden. Beforehand, it was a lot of lawn. They had to make their own fun. Whereas now this garden is packed full of it, isn't it? Oh.
I can't actually believe what you've done.
Oh, here we are. They're lining up to go on the path. Yeah.
David spent a long time making sure that he could make this really cool for you guys. He's put in plants like chamomile, so when you brush past it with your bare feet, that will smell, you see.
That feels nice.
Then you've got you've got the gravel and the broken pavement.
And white
here.
grass there as well.
Yeah, little grass. And these are little chives. Chives are herb as well.
Let's where these can move, you know.
Well, they move a little bit because that gives you a bit of different sensation under your feet, you see. Yeah. You can do your break dancing. And imagine when you're going to have lovely bare feet to be able to come up here, all these different feelings under your feet. And then you can, so what can you see at the back there, Thomas?
I can see one of those, what are they called again?
Those are
cocoon seeds.
Yeah.
They look pretty good to sit on.
They look amazing.
You see, and then, careful.
I will.
How cool, though, to swing out over the plants, out by the deck.
It's going to be amazing.
There's a rope up here.
That's how it hangs up, Ellie.
Well, we know that Ellie loves reading books, so I think that might be her little area to get away from everyone else.
And that's going to be amazing when it
all grows up, yeah,
around
because there's some evergreen grasses and that will grow up and it will actually feel that you're really kind of going into...
put flowers in there as well.
Yeah, little flowers.
It's just so cool, isn't it? There's so many spaces for them now, which is wonderful. But they can really feel like they can run out, they can explore, but they've got a lovely, cosy place to sit.
When it rains, you can see little drops.
Yeah, you'll see the drops in there.
Wait.
Oh, careful.
Careful.
Don't fall in.
Wait, let me try that, Ellie. Let me try.
Screen here, you see, so when the adults are over there, you can kind of come and hide round the back, can't you?
And seek.
Absolutely.
It makes the space so much, well, it's more usable. It's every part of the garden has now got a purpose.
Yeah. These plants, they're called lambsies. So if you touch them, they're as soft as a lamsie.
I've seen these before.
Yeah, so they'll grow, and they're very soft, nice to touch. And these are lavenders, and if you crush the leaf a little bit, you can smell. How nice is that? That's a lovely smell.
It really is that adventure, that getaway. There's so much sensory elements that everything feels so new and fun. And I think that's just amazing to have that in their back garden. Yeah.
It's brilliant. It is so lovely.
Fantastic.
And it's not at all... You see the plans and you're expecting something, but not as amazing as this. This is more than we were expecting, isn't it?
That and some more. Yeah.
That and some more. It's amazing. Thank you so much.
The team have packed up and left, so family the sensory holiday garden they needed to help Tom and Ellie.
It's been sadly neglected for a long time, and it's just to see the whole garden come alive again. I think we'll be using the garden a lot more, not just in the summer. The spaces that we can use all year round now.
Hello.